Good morning, ultimate hustlers and digital empire builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we're talking 11 financing options for small businesses. Yes, one of the biggest hurdles that small businesses seem to face is access to capital or the lack thereof. And today we're going to talk about 11 funding options for small businesses to get the necessary funds that they need to run their marketing, to expand their inventory, to expand their infrastructure. But you're also going to learn that your business needs to be properly set up to receive said funding. So if you stick around to the end of today's episode, we're going to talk a lot about making sure that your business has the proper credibility as well. So do me a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, and let's kick it. Yo, what's up, ultimate hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor from the Bob Crane Financial and Tax Planning Services Studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. And if you know anything about tax planning, then you know you need somebody solid in your corner, and Bob is just that. In fact, he gives you a ton of free resources in his website. If you go to the link in the description, you will learn all about financial literacy, tax planning, and then if you want to book a call with Bob, you can book a call with him right there as well. Do me a favor, comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. Love to give you a free business shout out. Anwanu Financial Services in the building. What's going on, Credit King? Glad to have you on the stream this morning. We're talking 11 financial options for small businesses, ladies and gentlemen. And this is one of the things, I did a poll on my timeline just yesterday, and I asked the question, what are the things that small businesses and particularly Black-owned businesses are struggling with? And one of the things that kept coming up over and over and over is access to capital, right? Access to capital. So we're going to be talking about that today, but a couple quick announcements before we continue. Huge shout out to all entrepreneurs that came out to Digital Marketing Decoded, our first live in-person digital marketing training session. It was amazing. Had some amazing entrepreneurs show up and learned a ton about how to use digital marketing to explode their businesses and or their brands. Can't wait to get the next one on the books. And guess what? You will be the first to know when we get that date locked down. Also, Monetize My Life Academy, ladies and gentlemen, the $1 trial is going away at the end of the month. And you would just have to pay $47 to get started and $47 a month if you like what you see when you subscribe. But for now, until October 31st, you can actually get your account and your membership set up with Monetize My Life Academy for just $1, ladies and gentlemen. As we are revamping and rebuilding that mastermind, you can't afford to not be in it if you're trying to learn digital marketing and you want continuous education from a group of people who are actually executing on digital marketing strategies every single day, right? So shout out to Timothy Moore in the building, Vision Writers USA out of Omaha. Welcome to the stream this morning, my friend. So also, for those of you who may need help with your social media, you need social media. You need to be posting every day good content that's going to engage your followers to grow your fan base, but you just can't seem to get it done yourself. Well, Thornton Online Marketing has a brand new service that we're launching, and you're able to try our social media management program for just $97 for 30 days. What does that mean? That means we create the content, we write the captions, we do the hashtag research, and we post to 2 platforms, to your Facebook and your LinkedIn profiles every day for 30 days. You just cover the $97 setup fee, and we go to work and we provide the reporting as well to show you how well we're doing. And if you want to continue with us, then we can talk about what a monthly contract is like at our regular price. So we're talking 11 financing options for small businesses. Before we get into that, y'all know I like to start the show with the quote of the day. And today's quote comes from Jim Rohn. And you guys know I do a lot of Jim Rohn quotes here because he is just that dude. And that's what I kind of wake up to in the mornings in a lot of cases. I like to do, I don't know if you guys know, but I like to do the YouTube compilations, right? So when I wake up and I start my workout in the morning, I just put on, YouTube knows me so well, it has something queued up for me every morning. And I just listen to that. And a lot of times in those compilations, there's some Jim Rohn there. And he says, you cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. Oh, some of y'all got to get that, man. You're busy trying to change the season. No, you can't change the seasons, right? Winter is coming. There's nothing you can do about that, but change yourself to be prepared for the winter that is coming. And here's the thing. You don't know how bad or how rough this winter is going to be. You don't know if it's going to be full of blizzards or full of sunshine, but you know that winter is coming and you cannot stop it from coming. And I'm talking about the physical, natural season of winter because we're recording this on October 25th. But I'm also talking about the winters that come in your life every so often. It's going to come. You're going to have rough patches. Life is all about ups and downs and how you handle those things, right? You can't change and you can't stop the winter from coming, but you can better prepare for how you're going to deal with the winter when it arrives. And that's from Jim Rohn. So that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Again, brought to you by my good friend Bob Crane, Financial and Tax Planning Services. Click on the link in the description or in the show notes if you want some free financial education. He's got free worksheets. He's got free tools. He's got free videos, free downloads. Free financial literacy education is right at your fingertips. All you got to do is click on the link in the description. And if you want to book a call with Bob and have him help you with your tax planning, or especially for my entrepreneurs out there, if you're making a ton of money in business, did you know that there are some things that you can do with that money so that you don't pay taxes on it legally, right? You can put over $70,000 away into your own retirement plans, and that will lower your tax liability. Man, listen, y'all better get a good tax planner in your corner. So we're talking 11 ways or 11 financial options for small businesses. How many of you guys agree that access to capital is one of the things that is hindering small businesses here in America? I did that poll on my timeline just yesterday. There was a lot of things that came up, and we're going to be talking about some of those other things that come up as well in future episodes right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. But one of the things that kept coming up over and over and over again is access to capital, right? So I wanted to do something to kind of help provide some resources and some information on that. So I'm putting a link into the comments right now from this website, and this article is from Fundera by NerdWallet. I've come to kind of rely on NerdWallet as a resource. So if Fundera is by NerdWallet, then I would imagine that this is some good content for us to check out. So let's talk about number one on the list of these 11 funding options for small businesses. Number one, they have listed as traditional term loans, right? A traditional loan is perhaps the easiest type of small business funding to understand, right? But it is also the most difficult type of small business funding to get, right? It's easy to understand because we all understand what a loan is, and a term loan, you're going to borrow a certain amount of money, a fixed amount of money, usually for a specified stated business purpose, and you're going to pay back that loan as a fixed term with a fixed interest rate over time, right? We understand that, but borrowing money from banks for business is not as easy as it is made out to be, and a lot of us aren't even in position credibility wise with our businesses to even qualify for these types of fundings. And if you stick around to the end of the show, we're going to actually give you some tips to make sure that your business is qualified. Matter of fact, you can click on the link in the description. Just go to bizcredithelper.com. Go to bizcredithelper.com. If you're not sure if your business is credible, then go check out that free webinar on business credit. It is a flat out game changer for those of us who are understanding that we're in business for the long haul, and we want to make sure that our business is properly set up, not just from a legal standpoint, but also a business credibility standpoint, which is all the things that you're going to have to prove to a bank or a credit lending or a credit institution in order to get financing or funding. Since these are typically low interest rate business loans, especially if they come from a bank, owners will need to have strong credit to qualify, and their businesses should be financially strong, right? So they're the easiest to understand and some of the most difficult to get. So who are these loans for? Generally, it's best for business term loans are going to be one of the best small business funding options for owners of mature businesses who want to borrow money for a long period of time, right? And where can you get them? If you think a term loan is the right for your small business, then you want to start applying for bank loans. But again, you got to have your business credibility in place. You got to have a mature business, and your business has to have strong, provable financials. You can't be just, hey, man, I think I made this much last year, or I think I'm going to do this much next year. No, they want to comb through your financials with a fine-tooth comb before they lend you money, right? So option number one is term loans. Number two, we're talking options for small businesses to get funding, and it makes sense that number two is the Small Business Administration, right? So you get an SBA loan, helps entrepreneurs get funding for business needs in the form of long-term, low-cost business loans that are often the most desirable types of funding for small businesses, right? Although the SBA itself doesn't directly loan money to businesses, the agency incentivizes lenders like banks to approve small businesses for borrowing by guaranteeing all or part of their loans. For lenders, that means low risk and high rewards. However, because small business loans are so desirable for small businesses, you'll have to meet a number of specific requirements and go through a lengthy application process in order to qualify. Now, this isn't to discourage you, right? However, this is to help you understand how to set the right expectations. This is to help you to say, I'm going to go through this process, and whether I get approved or not, I'm going to learn a tremendous amount about the business lending and funding process that's going to help me in the future, right? So if you start down this road, maybe you can get halfway and you figure out that, hey, you don't have this, that, and the other in your business right now, so we can't go any further. Well, what did you just learn? You just learned that you need this, that, and the other in your business if you're going to continue to pursue financing. See, unlike personal credit, when it comes to business credit, business financing, and business lending, a lot of times they don't have to tell you why you're not being approved, right? And the only way you can find out is by either hiring someone who has been through the process, right? You go to bizcredithelper.com, you're going to learn more about this process even before you go through it, because we've sent tons of people through this process, right? So when you go to bizcredithelper.com, you'll literally learn a lot about this whole process and a lot about what you need, how you need to be positioned as a business in order to put yourself in the place to qualify for these things. So small business loans are best for those business with the qualification requirements. Borrowers with strong credit who are looking for long-term, low-interest loans will be best for small business loans. Again, they got stringent qualification requirements, but once you know what those requirements are, you put them in place and then you go back and you apply again, right? You want to have strong credit, right? Personally and business credit wise. Why? Because they look at all of those things, right? So where to get it, of course, small SBA loans are issued through the SBA approved lenders, typically banks and credit unions, although there is some variation based on the individual small business loan program. In general, many of the biggest banks in the U.S. offer small business loans. So go get yourself registered with the Small Business Administration, right? All right. And I think a small business qualifies. Let me see. Let me go and do a quick search. I think you have to have less than 500 employees to be qualified as a small business. So what is a small business? Let me see if I can find that real quick. By definition. All right, let me see if I can find that. A small business is one with no more than 1,500 employees and a maximum of 41.5 million in average annual receipts. Right. So if you think about that, there's a lot of small businesses, right? Less than 1,500 employees and no more than 41.5 million in annual receipts makes you a small business. So now you have to make sure that you are registered with the SBA so that you can get at least notified and be informed about what kind of loans are coming down the pipeline. They're always creating new lending programs based on business profiles. So not only do they have these for general small businesses, but then small minority businesses, small women-owned businesses, small Asian-owned, but all kinds of stuff is available for you. But again, are you taking your business seriously enough, right? Some of you guys aren't even taking your business serious enough to put the name of your business or your brand in the comments, right? You don't know what kind of exposure you're going to get from just commenting on a video like this, right? You don't know who might want to connect with you and your brand based on you just don't post any links, but just saying the name of your business and a little small description, right? Whenever I'm on somebody's podcast or somebody's live stream, hey man, this is H. Cortez or Cortez Hustle from Thornton Online Marketing. We provide digital marketing services for small businesses. right? That's not disrespectful to the host, especially when they're asking you to comment who you are and the name of your business and or your brand, right? But do you take your business seriously enough to start putting on paper everything that's required for you to have a credible business? And I'm not talking about credible as in, do your customers believe you are a solid business? No, I'm talking about a credible business according to business credit and financing standards, right? So we're talking, if you're just tuning in, 11 funding options for small businesses. We went over the first two, and we're going to run through the other 9 on the other side of 1 Minute Motivation. But y'all know what time it is, man. If you are new to the show, we do a segment called 1 Minute Motivation every single episode. And 1 Minute Motivation is where we play a short motivational video, something to get your mind right, get you thinking about who you are, what you want out of life, and how you're going to get there. And then I ask you to comment one of your takeaways. I'm going to give you a couple takeaways myself. So let's get into 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
Like you already have it before you can bring it into your reality.
In the greatest book of all time, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill states, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." He says, "You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be." It's not a magic trick. It's not a new philosophy. Most of you know about it. And if you don't, you should start paying attention, because just about anyone who is great knows about it.
As Robin Sharma said, everything is created twice. First in the mind, and then in reality. There is an energy and power far greater than we can comprehend at play. And we can either use it, live in harmony with it, create with it, or run in fear from it.
Hoo-wee. Let me ask you guys this question. Are you thinking about what you're thinking about? Oh man, I got it. Are you thinking about what you're thinking about? Because what you think about constantly, what you think about passionately, you'll bring about. Especially if you go to the next step, and as you think about it, you start speaking about it. Especially if you go to the next step, as you think about it, you start speaking about it, and then you start acting it out, right? Are you thinking about what you are thinking about? This is critically important for you to understand. If you are trying to go from glory to glory, one level of success to the next, it all starts right here. It all starts right here. What are you thinking about constantly? And if you're not intentionally thinking about certain things, your environment will cause you to perhaps start thinking about things with passion that you don't particularly want in your life. It is easy, if you're in an environment that's negative, for you to have a negative thought pattern 24/7. And when you have a negative thought pattern 24/7, you bring negativity into your life 24/7, right? Are you thinking about what you're thinking about? It all starts in the mind. And then once you start thinking about those things that you really, really want, the key to getting your mind to bring into your reality the resources that you need to win in life is to start asking questions. See, the one thing that the mind does not like is incomplete. So when you ask, how can I become the greatest digital marketing agency in the Midwest region, my mind will literally never stop ceasing to find answers to that question. Right? Don't say what you can't do. Ask your mind, how can you do these certain things, right? And that's how you're going to start thinking about and bringing about the things that you want to see in your life. And then you got to go to the next step and you got to start declaring these things over your life, right? I heard Lisa Nichols, great motivational speaker, talk about overcoming depression in her life. And she started declaring the power of I am. Whatever you put after I am with passion, right? Emotionally charged words will get into your subconscious mind and change the entire universe for you, right? She started talking about the power of I am. She started talking about how she had to forgive herself for the self-defeating thoughts that she would have and maybe falling short, beating herself up. How many of you guys are beating yourself up about every little thing that you fall short? Listen, there's a time and a place for that, but it's not 100% of the time. 80% of the time, you should be talking to yourself about how great you are and the things you're going to accomplish, and you should be building yourself up. 20% of the time, you should be speaking about your reality. Listen, man, you fell short yesterday. Listen, you said you was going to do this. You didn't do it. Let's get up. Let's move on. But I forgive you for that. But let's be clear. I'm monitoring this stuff that you say you want to do, and you ain't getting it done, man. Let's go. So there's a time and a place and a certain amount of time you should be kicking yourself in the teeth. But we live in a society where there's enough people that's going to be doing that 24/7. We don't need to join that party. 80% of the time, we need to be talking positive self-talk. 20% of the time, we need to keep it real with ourselves and say what it is so that we can move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, that, my friend, is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Social Show, brought to you by Monetize My Life Academy, the premier digital marketing mastermind for entrepreneurs on the planet. Listen, you have just a few days left if you want to subscribe to Monetize My Life Academy and learn all of the digital marketing tools, all of the digital marketing strategies that we have. Then you want to go and sign up before October 31st, and you can sign up for $1 for your first 30 days. And we literally meet every month. We do training every month. You get over $10,000 worth of online courses right at your disposal. You get the catalog of trainings that we've done all year. All of the replays are right there for you. You get social media content curated and created for you every single month. And all you got to do is go on Canva and rebrand it and post it. Guys, you're not going to be able to beat that value for $47 a month. And at the end of this month, you're no longer going to be able to get access to that for a $1 trial. So go over to monetizemylifeacademy.com right now and get yourself enrolled and learn the tricks and the trades of digital marketing and apply that in your life. Luxury Clothing Store is in the building. LPJ, I see you over there on YouTube. Thank you for joining the stream today. We're talking funding sources or options for small businesses. And if you stick around to the end of the show, we're going to talk about making sure that your business is credible to even be in the conversation of getting funded or getting credit extended to you in your business. So the first one we talked about is traditional lending, right? Easiest to understand, but the hardest to qualify for. Small Business Association is another place that you can get funding for. Again, easy to understand, but hard to qualify for. Let's talk about number 3, business lines of credit. And again, if you want to know how to get your business credible, you need to go to bizcredithelper.com. This is where we literally show you over a 45-minute presentation the ins and outs of structuring your business properly so that you can start getting funding, right? Unlike the first 2 small business funding options we've discussed, a business line of credit essentially works like a credit card. You have a certain amount of capital that you can draw on whenever you need it, and you'll only pay interest on what you use. Plus, once you pay it back, the funds you withdrew, you will have access to that cash again. But let's be clear. In order for you to qualify for and get a business line of credit, your business have to meet certain business credibility standards. And we're going to talk about those here in a minute. Or you can go and watch the free webinar at bizcredithelper.com. It's a game changer. If you're serious about your business, right? You should put the name of your business and your brand in the stream right now. Just don't post any links. You never know who might want to connect with you just by you commenting on the stream, right? But B, you got to understand, okay, how do the big boys play? What can I do as a small business owner that's going to set me up with a solid foundation, right? The last thing you want to do when you're building anything is pour a foundation that's too small. I would rather have a foundation that can hold a 75-story skyscraper, even if in my lifetime, I only am able to put a 3-story ranch on it, right? I want the foundation to support a skyscraper. So I'm going to take my time and pour that big foundation. Now, I might not in my lifetime be able to put the skyscraper on it, but I got a foundation that my sons can come behind me and continue to build on, right? Start thinking about your business seriously, about where you're going, and make sure you're putting the proper things in place. So who is a business line of credit best for? A business line of credit is going to be best for the small business funding options for businesses that have unpredictable or seasonal capital needs, and those that want the flexibility to draw funding on an as-needed basis, right? Where to get it? Go to bizcredithelper.com, right? You can learn about setting up your business credibility and that kind of stuff. So that's a business line of credit. Number 4, a business credit card, right? Business credit cards work like personal credit cards, but they're designed to be used solely for business purposes and covering business expenses. Typically, business credit cards have higher spending limits than personal credit cards, as well as lower interest rates and better introductory offers, right? And watch this. Unlike personal credit, where the more you use, the more it hurts your score, business credit is the opposite. The more you use business credit, the more they'll extend to you, as long as you're paying for it responsibly, right? Although you do need good credit to qualify for business credit cards, there are options for business owners who are rebuilding credit as well. Even startups can qualify for business credit cards. If you need a large amount of capital, over $50,000, a term loan or SBA would be a stronger option for you, right? All right, I see TS and Associates in the building. Tell us a little bit about what you do as well and where you located. That way, if somebody is connecting from a city near you, or you have something that you can help other people with across the country, they know where you're located and a little bit about what you do. Just don't post any links, right? So again, business credit cards is another one of those sources and those solutions. But if your business isn't set up right, you can't qualify. And again, with business credit and business financing, when you go to apply, they don't have to tell you why you got denied. So you'll never know. You'll put in an application, you'll never hear anything back. Not like when you apply for something, you get denied, they're going to send you a letter in 7 to 10 days saying, hey, you didn't get approved because we saw this on your credit report. That ain't how business credit works, right? That is not how business credit works, right? See, it says help small business owners structure their business properly and make more money. So great, because that's what we're talking about, small businesses and getting structured properly so that you can qualify for business funding and business financing. So we talked about 4. Let's keep it moving, keep it moving. Number 5, equipment financing, right? See, if you are narrow-minded in your focus and you think that a bank is the only place you can get funding, then you'll be discouraged if you go to 10 banks and you get turned down 10 times. But when you go to Biz Credit Helper, you'll see that there are not only a gazillion different funding sources out there, there's also multiple ways that you can get funded that nobody talks about that go beyond what a traditional bank will ask of you. Equipment financing, as the name applies, is a type of debt financing that's specific to purchasing equipment for your business. With this type of small business funding, the equipment itself serves as collateral on the loan, meaning the lender is more likely to approve it even if you don't have stellar credit or financials, right? So if you need heavy equipment or machinery in your business, then you can go get financing for that because the equipment itself is collateral, right? A lot of my brothers and sisters are out here running this bag up in the trucking industry. Why? Because I can go and get financing for a box truck because the box truck is the collateral for the loan. Now I just got to go out here and hustle and get me some contracts and start my delivery business, and boom, right? We're off to the races. That said, equipment financing can be structured in one or two ways, as a lease or a loan. With equipment leasing, you're not the owner of the equipment, but you are paying rent for it, right? Equipment loans are more like traditional loans with a fixed payment schedule, right? Who are they best for? Equipment financing is going to be best for small business funding operations that need capital to purchase or lease a vehicle, computer, tractor, or other specialized machinery or equipment for their operations. It's a ton of places you can get financing, right? Number six, and I put a link to the actual article in the comments so that you guys can check it out, but this is from Fundera by NerdWallet. Excellent presentation. Thank you for that, Tara. Appreciate it. Invoice financing is number 6, right? We're talking options here. One of the things that small businesses struggle with is access to capital. And one of the reasons they struggle with access to capital is because they only know one way to get access to capital. Right? That's why they struggle. They struggle because they feel like if I can't walk into a bank and get a bank loan, then it's a wrap for me. No, it's not. It goes beyond that, right? That's one place. But usually getting a bank loan or a small business SBA loan is one of the last places that small businesses can get funding from. This is after they've grown their business and they've gotten funding from other sources. They've used business credit cards, they use net 30 accounts and different things. And then they're able to use those options to grow their finances. And now they have strong enough financials to walk into a bank and actually get a bank loan. So invoice financing. What is invoice financing? Let's talk about it. Invoice financing, also known as accounts receivable financing, is a form of business funding through which lending companies advance your accounts receivable through a quick cash advance of about 85% of the value of your invoices. Later, when your client pays the invoice, you will receive most of the additional 15% minus fees, right? Invoice finance companies charge a small weekly percentage on the amount of your invoices. So imagine this. You have a business and you have a ton of money owed to you. And because you have that money owed to you, maybe you have clients that have signed up for your program and they pay you every month for your program. Well, guess what? There's lending institutions that will look at the payment history of your clients. Say you got 100 clients, right? And they're all paying you $1,000 a month, right? That's $100,000 per month in invoicing, right? So what does that mean? If you need an infusion of capital and most of your clients are paying you regularly, then you can take that history and say, listen, I need some cash. I've got these invoices where they pay me regularly $100,000 per month, but I'm going to need $50,000 for this new project that I'm about to put out there. Oh, okay, we'll loan you $50,000 because that's less than 85% of the actual invoices. And boom, you got an infusion of cash in your business. So let me ask you this. When you sell your services on a payment plan, do you have the correct contracting in place for the invoicing? Because I'm not loaning you no money on an invoice and you don't have a proper contract in place, right? So these are all options, ladies and gentlemen. Number 7, short-term loans. A short-term loan is essentially a condensed version of a traditional term loan. You'll receive a lump sum of business funding that you'll pay down plus interest according to the agreed upon terms, right? Is your business credible? Is your business set up properly so that you are in position, or do you not yet take your business seriously, right? Have you not gone through the proper channels? Have you not filed properly? Are you still operating your business like a side hustle, or are you operating it like a legitimate business, right? This is where my good friend Bob comes in at, right? If you need a good tax planner who's going to help you with your business financials, right? That's where you can connect with my guy, Bob, right? Click on the link in the description. He's got a ton of free resources that will help you understand some of the very things that we're talking about. And if you want to book a call with him, then book a call with him, right? It's not difficult. You got to start taking your business seriously, right? Number 8, equity financing. What is equity financing? Equity financing is a way to raise funds by selling ownership in your company. In exchange for money from investors, you give them a portion of ownership and control in your business. Using equity financing has benefits, particularly the experience and mentorship that the investor brings. This being said, however, there's one big drawback that often excludes this type of financing as an option for small business owners. Funding through equity isn't a one and done transaction. With this type of business funding, you're committing to a long-term relationship with an investor who has a serious interest in the success or failure of your business. Ceding some ownership and influence over the company goes hand in hand with equity financing. So if that's not something you're ready for, you'll want to opt for debt financing. That's not something that I'm willing to go for. So opt for debt financing, right? Giving up ownership, giving up partial control, giving up influence and input to somebody who has a stake in the business, right? Could work out great, could work out not so great. Just depends on how you want to make that move, right? That is totally up to you and your tolerance level for whether you want to be 100% in control of what it is that you got going on, or you're willing to bring someone else in who's going to have a say in operations, a say in pretty much everything that goes on with the business. Even silent partners turn out to be not so silent when they see the business going in a direction that could be costing the business revenue or could be sending the business down a negative path. But it's an option, right? One of the other things that you can do with equity financing, though, is you can contract with buyouts, right? Maybe I want to help your business grow, but I don't necessarily want to really own a part of your business, but I'll take that. And if the business goes the way you plan it to go, then I have a buyout clause so that you can get back 100% ownership of your business, right? Number 9, small business grants. It's another funding option. But again, Is your business in position, in a credible position as a business, paperwork wise? Can your business stand up to a little bit of scrutiny from a grant institution, from a lending institution? If you're willing to put in the time to apply for them, many funding programs offer up small business grants that provide business financing that recipients don't have to pay back. Of course, these grants are competitive. You'll need to put in the time and the effort to find the right grants and submit applications to access one. This being said, there are hundreds of business grants out there, federal, state, local, private grants, and more. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the work. Again, this goes back to how serious are you taking your business? And whether you get approved for the grant or not, every time you apply, you're going to learn something valuable for your business. You're going to learn what you are missing in your business. They're going to ask you some tough questions that you may not have the answer to right at that moment. But if you're serious about your business, you're going to go find the answer. You're going to go put those things in place, right? Number 10, friends and family. Friends and family. We like to talk about those companies that had seed money from friends and family. And in our community, I've seen on certain posts of mine, when I post about an Elon Musk or I post about a Jeff Bezos, and people literally get upset that they had family and friends that were able to pool together $50,000, $100,000. Why are you mad at that? Oh, you mad at that because you don't have those type of friends. Well, if you can't change your circle, change your circle, right? If you can't change your circle, then you got to change your circle. If you're not around friends and family that can offer, between 10 of them, $2,000 a piece, now you got $20,000 to borrow and go get your thing off the ground and pay them back later, then don't get mad at other people who have that. Here's my thing. I don't know if I have that in my family and circle right now, but you know what I'm doing? I'm fighting tooth and nail to become that for them. Like my niece wants to get her lash business going. I want to be able to drop $5,000 on my niece and say, here, man, here's your setup. Here's your space. Man, go have at it. I expect you to be fully profitable in the next 12 to 18 months. Hit me back then. I don't want to be mad that they don't have it. Somebody in the family has to be that first person to start it. So that's going to be me. So my son says, man, Dad, I've been working at Subway for 6 years on and off through college and all that kind of stuff. I think I want to go ahead and grab me one of these franchises. I want to be the one that he comes to and he goes into our family bank and he borrows $60,000 from the Thornton Family Trust. And he goes and puts the down payment on his Subway franchise. I'm not mad at other families who's got that in place. I'm just going to be the one to put that in place for my family, period, right? If you're fortunate enough to have friends or family members who can invest in your business or lend you money, it's a great opportunity because your personal relationship, your friends or family members are likely to offer more comfortable terms on an investment agreement that you receive from an angel investor bank or online alternative lender. But guess what? Don't get mad at me when I do have the funds to seed your business when I ask you for your business plan. Don't get mad when you ask family and friends, because this is the problem. We got family members who got it, but our family members who got it, the reason they got it is because they became financially literate and they know something about evaluating an investment and they want to know Let me see your business plan. Let me see what you've done over the last 6 months to make this work on your own. One of the things that Gary Vaynerchuk says, and he was been an angel investor, was a big time angel investor, not as much anymore, but he said he always bets on the entrepreneur more than the business model, the plan, the industry, or anything of that nature. So he wants to look at what's kind of skin in the game that you have. What have you done to bring this thing to where it is now? Or have you not invested any of your own money into this business idea, and all you're doing is running around trying to get everybody else to put their money in? No, I want to sit down with an investor and say, or my niece, for instance, says, Uncle, I've literally poured $15,000 into this thing in the last 6 months. Look at what my brand looks like. Look at my customer base. Look at my email list. Look at my social media. Look at some of my reviews. I just need to get into my own space. And right now I have enough money to operate, but I can't operate and put a down payment down to get into my own. See, when you can come at me like that, now it's like, okay, niece, I see you. Okay, you dead serious about this. Oh, look, here's this certification cost me $1,000. I had to go through this program. I went and got this certification that builds on top of that certification. It cost me $3,500. So I'm constantly learning and growing. I took this marketing class. I signed up for this class at. Oh, okay, niece. So you serious? But see, when you're not serious and you go to family and friends and they start asking you the tough questions, you want to get mad at them when you don't have the answers. And you want to go blast them on social media talking about my family and friends won't support what I'm doing. You ain't even supporting what you're doing. Let's be clear about that, right? So family and friends can be a source. Let me get you to number 11. Number 11 is crowdfunding. If you're not familiar with these kinds of funding opportunities, here's a basic idea. You get funding for your business needs from small contributions made by a group of people. Each individual contributor adds up to a big total, which amounts to the business funding you require. So there's tons of platforms that allow you to do crowdfunding. But again, you're going to be asked the tough questions when it comes to crowdfunding, right? Do you have the answers? What are you going to give these people who are making these micro investments into your dream, right? I might want to be one of your crowdfunding investors, and I might want to sit down with you to have the conversation that I would have with my niece or my nephew or my homeboy or my homegirl. Hey, listen, sounds like you got a great idea on your hands. Let me ask you a couple questions. How much skin you got in the game? What have you tried on your own to make this thing work, and how did it go for you? Right? Are you willing to answer the tough questions about your business when you're seeking these financing and these funding sources? Right? I think these are great educational opportunities to even just go and start applying so you can see what kind of questions that they ask. And this will allow you to start shoring up some of the holes in your operation. Right? I got a coach from Biz by Faith, and she's asking me some of these questions. And I'm like, man, listen, no, I never even thought about that, let alone know I'm supposed to have it and be tracking it. Right? Are you prepared to put yourself in the position to even qualify for this financing? Right? Let's talk about some business credibility things really quickly. If you are building a business and your public email address is a Gmail, a Yahoo, an AOL, or whatever, that's not a good look on paper for business funding. Now, am I saying you can't use a Gmail account? That's not what I'm saying. I use a Gmail account because it's easier. It's tied to my phone, And when I do a lot of personal stuff, some of my business mixes in with personal relationship. So I use a Gmail account. But on my loan application, on my credit application, everything says Cortez at Thornton Online Marketing. It doesn't say Thornton Online Marketing at gmail.com. It's one of the things that these algorithms, when you apply for this stuff, they have artificial intelligence that read things like that, and they automatically kick your application out. Do you have a business address away from your home? Right? Again, you got to think about, if everybody is trying to get this business funding, they're getting hundreds of applications a day, sometimes an hour, and they're trying to sort through the qualified candidates. So they're actually trying to sort more people out than they're trying to sort in. And one of the things that those applications are looking for is this business headquarter address in a residential neighborhood. Oh, they're probably working from home. They're probably running their business from home, and that automatically gets your application kicked out. They didn't even get to see your financials. Do you have a business address? Do you have a website? And on your website, does it list? Because one of the things that these algorithms do, this artificial intelligence does, when you list your website on something, they will actually comb through your DNS data and see what address is associated with your website. Is your business address, your business phone number, and your business email address associated with the website, right? If you go to bizcredithelper.com, you can watch a free webinar that explains and breaks all of this down for you, right? Now that you have a business address, now that you have a business phone number, you got a fax number, you got a toll-free number, you've got a business email address, you got a website. Is all of this information on your filing with the Secretary of State and associated with your EIN with the IRS? One of the things that I had to do when I started going down this road is I filed my LLC and I got my EIN with my home address. So I had to go back and retrace my steps. And there's nothing wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. If you're starting out and you made some of these mistakes, it's better to have started than have done nothing at all. But now that you're aware, let's get to the next level. Let's get to the next level. Let's build your business's credibility so that you put yourself in position to qualify for financing. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our show. One last shout out to my sponsor for today, Mr. Bob Crane, Financial and Tax Planning Services. Make sure you click on the link in the description and check out some of his free resources on his website. You will be thoroughly impressed, I'm telling you. Also, Monetize My Life Academy, $1 trial, get all the digital marketing training that you need to grow your business and create the best and biggest online presence that you can. So I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.